So I wanted to talk to you about clones, not the flesh and blood variety, but the toy variety. And I think these days we talk about them as, sort of, I don't know, recolors, I suppose, or I'm not really sure what the official terminology for them would be, but basically, the same sculpts, but done in a different way, getting a different treatment, basically. But it occurred to me when I looked at a couple of pieces that I had picked up, I thought, this is not a new thing. If you think about, for example, the Space 1999 Dinky Eagles, they are all basically just repaints of one another. And the thing is, they were always going to be eagles. They were never anything other than that. So that was sort of, as you'd expect, really. But it was a bit random just to repaint them for the sake of it, because in the show, they're never really shown repainted on their sort of main bodies. So it occurred to me that I had a few examples of these from, years back, basically. So I'm going to show you a few examples of them in this video and just see if you've got any sort of particular repaints that you thought were horrific or brilliant or somewhere in the middle. So, when is a copy not a copy? Well, Exhibit A Moonraker Corgi shuttle. Exhibit B, a Corgi USA NASA space shuttle. And you will notice that these are remarkably similar because, of course, they are exactly the same mold. They are exactly the same item, but repainted. But whilst we are used to this concept in this day and age, I think it's fair to say, Corgi were doing it years ago, years and years ago. Now, here's another interesting thing though. This is the Moonraker shuttle from the James Bond film of the same name. And if it would actually let me open it, you'll see that I have the nice shiny satellite that this particular item often comes with. And people will actually pay for the satellite in addition to the shuttle because the shuttles don't always come with the satellites. However, this shuttle also comes with a satellite. Now, just looking at those then and making that comment, I was thinking to myself, I think I've seen other colorations of the satellite itself. So I'm not sure if someone's put this satellite in thinking it belonged to it because it fits, obviously. But in fact, that isn't actually the color scheme that this one normally comes with. But nevertheless, I have a spare satellite and it fits nicely into the cargo bay of this shuttle. And it makes perfect sense that they would do stuff like this. I mean, you would do, because it saves them doing a completely different design for something that is effectively the same thing. And as you can see, this actually says Corgi Space Shuttle on it, and it's got the nice wheel retraction mechanisms if we could get it to work. There we go. So you can actually get rid of the wheels, which I always really like. I love a spaceship that has landing gear but can get rid of them because I think that's only logical. If you're going to be at all atmospherically related, then you want to get rid of things that stick out from you so you can actually fly atmospherically. And you can see again, Corgi Space Shuttle. It's exactly the same thing. It doesn't even mention Moonraker on the bottom of it. It just is what it is. Bless it. So there's no attempt to sort of hide its origins. They are exactly the same product with different stickers applied. So let's take that principle onwards, and I can demonstrate to you that they didn't stop there with the Moonraker reference, because they did it again at a different scale. So they did these two. And you can see that again, we have what is effectively a shrunk down version of the American NASA space shuttle that I just showed you, but they also did exactly the same thing for the teeny tiny Corgi Moonraker version, James Bond space shuttle. So I do love that. I randomly found this one where it's still boxed up, copyright 1978. Not suitable for children under 18 months. Well, no, quite. I know 36 months. I was going to say 18 months would be a weird number, wouldn't it? Okay, but the I think again the inside of this one is exactly the same. So you've both got exactly the same innards, which obviously makes perfect sense. But it's just an interesting way that where Corgi reused very economically exactly the same product, but in using different packaging, and resold it. So, if they had surplus, then obviously they just took them and reused them. So it saves them wasting, and it makes them extra profit off the back of it. So there we go again, saying Corgi Space Shuttle, but it's still got this little teeny tiny flipper to bring the landing gear down, which again is a really sort of nice attention to detail. But it doesn't stop there, of course, because this is one of those things where I thought, have I got this? Have I not got this? And this is the sort of thing that often confuses you when you're collecting stuff like this. So I'm going to get this wrong myself. I'm just looking at the bottom of these. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this is a surprisingly well-armed Matchbox item this time. This is a Matchbox Speed King, which nevertheless has lots and lots of missiles attached to it. Now, just to demonstrate that it is in fact a Speed King, I'll try and show you there. So I think you can see there, it says, oh no, I'm wrong, hang on, that's a Super King, isn't it? Sorry, this is a Super King actually. So I presume that just indicates that it's bigger than average. So it's 22 SRN8 hovercraft, 1974. Wow, so this is 50 years old. Wow. Okay, cool. So we have that. But then we also have this. And I thought to myself, hang on a minute, I've seen that before. Haven't I already got one of those? But turned out I didn't actually have one of those, because this obviously is a much brighter, more sort of Dinky Eagle style green repaint of this. But the missiles even are a different color. The plastic, all of the plastics are a different color. Radar is silver, not black. And the propeller, which does rotate. In fact, I suspect, yes, the radar dish rotates with the propeller when it rolls on the ground. I love little details like that. That's very cool. I assume, yep, there's it on the other one as well. So exactly the same mechanisms on the inside. But this one is actually a Battle King, which is ironic because the colours of the other one are actually, you would think are more sort of, well, battle-y, for want of a better description. So the actual underside of this is slightly different because they've had to put a new sort of tagline on it. I can't quite read that myself at the moment, but I suspect it still says the same sort of hovercraft detailing, other than the fact that one's a Super King and one's a Battle King. So again, it's just a nice example of, even sort of years and years ago, we're talking 50 years back, just taking the same item and recoloring it gives the toy companies the opportunity of reselling it in a very, very sort of economic fashion, and not wasting any materials in terms of the original design for the mold and so on. So just a little curiosity, because I happen to have got my hands on both of these. This one's also called a Hover Raider, by the way. I should perhaps hold that up there so you can have a proper look at it. I mean, I would have quite happily played with these as a kid. I don't think I had them as a child, but they are pretty cool. They are pretty cool, and I like the fact that I've got both the missiles are present on them. But that was just a little throwaway video, really, just to make that sort of observation, and be interested to hear from you what your favourite kind of recolor of something is, or something where you think there's kind of, I don't know, more value in the recolor having been done, or anything like that that you've picked up where you thought it was a bit stupid, even where they've just kind of randomly done it for the sake of trying to get rid of excess stock. But these kind of make sense to me, I guess, because they'd probably be in keeping with the ranges in which they were sold. Maybe you think it's a bit of a cheat. Maybe you think they shouldn't resell something just using different colors. So I guess there could be a range of opinions on this, but let us know in the comments what you think about this as a concept as a whole. So I think that's about all I had for this one. So I'll say cheers for now, and do like and subscribe as ever. Bye.